Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's TDU Live presentation on Wednesdays. So this week we're going to be talking about Cryptomattes. But first off, I want to give you all a couple of updates here. So the first one is that we have our TDU Bunny. TDU Bunny is now fully furred and moving into the materials phase. So we'll get him up and running, or her, I should say, up and running very soon. Her name is Luna, by the way. But we should have her ready for you guys in the near future. So we're excited about this, and we're good to go. Another announcement for everybody is that we would like to get this bigger. So many of you that are current students have worked with Shane Sternstein. Shane is now he started. Well, he was working at TDU. He was a student at TDU, and then he became a lighting trainee at DreamWorks. Now he is a full-time lighter at DreamWorks, so we're very, very proud of Shane. But more importantly for you guys is that we are announcing that Shane is going to be doing a Redshift lecture, Redshift workshop for us. So if you are currently in the Ultimate Lighting Bundle, you will be getting that for free. That will be joining the Ultimate Lighting Bundle once that is complete. If you're not, then it will be a small amount of money that we're not quite sure yet, that we're still working out. But the big announcement is that we have a Redshift course coming for all those that want to learn Redshift, myself included. So Shane is going to be taking us through that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Cryptomattes today. So what are Cryptomattes first and foremost? Cryptomattes are a pre-rendered path that allows us to create ID mats for all of the files in our scene, so, or all the objects in the scene. So it allows us to go into the scene in the comp and just select certain elements. In fact, let's do this. So I've got this. I'm going to do a Cryptomatte. This will allow me to select something like let's say the coffee table here. I can then use that to color correct just that element. And for anyone who ever worked long before Cryptomattes, they know what a powerful tool that is. That means you no longer have to create rendered mats, RGB mats, anything like that. Anytime you want to create a mat on the fly, it's always there. So how do we do this? So the first thing that you want to do is, it's kind of a two-step process, right? So if you just type in, say Cryptomattes, what you're going to do is you're going to get this GitHub page, and that's going to give you all of the ability to download it for Nuke and for Fusion and for your other compositing software. For the renderers, they all function a little bit differently. So either it'll be Arnold or V-Ray or Redshift. They all have a Cryptomatte output. Like if I went to Arnold Cryptomatte, you'll see that the newest version of Arnold automatically has Cryptomattes loaded into it. What that means is that you can write out your Cryptomattes as a basic AOV coming out of Arnold without having to add any plugins, without having to download anything, without having to add any files, without having to do anything at all. So the Cryptomattes are a two-step process. Number one is your renderer needs to be able to output the AOV that is Cryptomatte. And then number two is you need to set up your Nuke or your Fusion to read in Cryptomattes and to create this node. So you can check out the SciOp page there, or Arnold, or like I said, if I want to go to V-Ray's Cryptomatte, just Google it and you can find those there with some instructions, because they will be updating, they will be changing. Oh, I got a phone call there. Don't want that. Okay, so now let's get into a little bit more of what we are going to be looking at. So again, or ways that we can use it. So again, we've got some files here that I'm going to take you through just to show you some different ways that you can set up using Cryptomattes. So the one that I want to show you first is this example here. Actually, let me hop over to the interface to make sure I don't have any questions. All right, everything's looking good. So what I want to deal with is that I've got this pass, and this is from the animated file from our lighting and animated feature course. So it's just the grandfather screaming at the television. And one of the things I noticed when I was rendering this was that his pants were getting like super specky. This broad television light was causing this super specular value on his pants. And unfortunately, I didn't notice it until we'd already reached the compositing phase. So I wanted to hold out the specular value just in the pants. Now, because I'd set up the AOVs to split out diffuse and specular, I went ahead and added this shuffle node that shuffled out just the diffuse value. If you want to know how to do that, you just bring in the shuffle and drop down this menu bar here. Shuffle node is a little bit confusing, but you can drop down this bar and you can find your diffuse values. You can find just the specular values, and you can see it there, just how bright that is. You can bring in the subsurface, which would be the skin, and you can isolate things just on those. So what I did was I isolated just the diffuse value. Then I wanted to hold that within the cryptomatted pants. So in order to do that, let me explain to you how the cryptomatte node works in Nuke. So you create it, and you look through it. And by default, it's probably going to look something crazy like this. And that's because there are a few different layer selection methods that you can choose. The default one is a little bit broad, so it's like pretty much everything. But you can also select it based on material attributes. So anything with a similar material, or anything with, you can refine down to the object level. So this is pretty much like the God node, and then the shape node down, the very specific object node down at the bottom. In order to select certain elements, you want to make sure you can only be in one mode at a time. And then to add things, you just select this pick or add. And similar to how you would select a color, I hold on Command and Shift, and I just select different things. Now, Control Z won't always work with this. So if I ever want to remove something, I just go back to the remove picker, and I just pick things as well. And then you can see that all the naming space stuff comes in right here. So if you ever just want to like type in the name of something, you can do that as well. And then if you ever want to clear everything, you just say clear and start again. So that's how you get started with that. And then what happens is, let's say again, let's go to the material. And actually the material is a good example in here. So if I create a Cryptomatte, and this girl is the entire asset. But if you look at object, and let's say I wanted to select the flower, I'd have to select each one of those individually. But if I did the material, each petal comes in as one solid thing. So that's one benefit of doing that. And then I can select that. As you can see, it's like a pixel to pixel perfect match because it's even dealing with motion blur. And then what I can do is I can, so what this is doing is essentially shuffling that out to the alpha channel. And then you can use that alpha channel to drive some sort of correction. Okay, so going back to what we have here, we've got his pants. We've got a Cryptomatte isolating just the pants. We've got a shuffle node getting just the diffuse value. So we're no longer dealing with that super speckiness. What I'm then doing, zoom in on this, is I'm using a merge node to merge them together. So now all we're dealing with is just the pants and the diffuse value. So isolate the diffuse, isolate the pants, bring them together. Then what I did was, and I'll show you what the mistake that I made was, is that when you bring these together like this, sometimes like this is the alpha channel. And that's not ideal because if I layer this back over top of the original, it's not going to change it too much just because that alpha channel is so thin. So what I wanted to do next was swap out the alpha channel with the original Cryptomatte alpha channel that I brought in. And that way, when I bring it over the top, oh, I see. There we go. Now we've got that functioning that way. So that's the basics of the Cryptomatte and why that's such a big deal. I'll just show you guys a couple other examples of times that I used it in the lighting and animated film course. So this is another one. Again, it's pretty similar. Let's go back here to the beginning. So in this, one of the elements that I saw was just that like this cabinet was very, very similar in color to the background wall. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to just like push and pull that a little bit just to adjust the color. Because again, I don't necessarily want to have to go back in and re-render everything, because something like this probably took, I don't know, 20 minutes a frame over 60 frames. So we're talking, what is that, 1,200 minutes of, I don't know, a really long time to deal with. So what I can do, again, I can just Cryptomatte it out. Again, don't freak out if you don't see it right away. You want to switch down to like the object mode. You can pick it, and then I can use that. Drive it into the grade. And now I can make this, go take this up a little bit brighter. I think you know, you can shift the color of it a little bit. So you can do whatever you want just to kind of vary it up just ever so slightly. So it's not quite the same. Again, same thing with this shot. I did this with the, I found the specular value back here was causing some really strange highlights. So once again, just shuffled out the diffuse value, because you can see all that's happening in the specular value. And then just brought it back over the top. So now Cryptomattes are only effective or most effective if you're not using any type of compression at all. Yeah, let's talk about some bad things. So don't use any compression when you're using Cryptomattes, because what that can do is it can lead to some weird edging issues. The other thing that you want to avoid is adding, so as you can see, my Cryptomattes are coming right out of my source image. Now what can happen, what I've seen happen, is even just something as simple as a dot or like a reformat node in between there can break it. Or what was the other one that I tried? I tried a shuffle node one time when I first started using it. I made the mistake of trying to shuffle in like one of these Cryptomattes initially, and then it just broke the whole thing. Oh, it doesn't break it anymore. Oh, look at that. So just something to keep in mind if you're ever dealing with it. A good workflow is that you don't want anything interfering between the Cryptomatte and the original source image. Let's see, other than that, this is becoming, like I said, it's becoming normal standard practice. When it came out, I think they came out with it like in 2014. It was like brand new. It was this big announcement at the conferences, and everybody a little bit more in practice. Like I said, we'll show it more in the lighting and animated film class. Let me hop over, see if anybody has any questions. No, I think we're all good here. Let's see. Yeah, so again, if you need it from the GitHub page, if you need it from any of this stuff, just let us know, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you all may have. But keep going, keep using it, keep lighting your scenes with it. It'll save you time, it'll save you energy in the end. And as always, just let us know if you guys have any questions. But thanks for tuning in, and this will be on the Facebook page if you missed the beginning. But yeah, thank you all so much. All right, talk to you guys soon.